Hey Franz, so I'm just gonna make this video on my phone and upload it to my YouTube page and then send it to you so that way I don't have to worry about how long it may get. I don't want it to be too terribly long, otherwise I might bore you. So, you said a lot, but it all made sense to me. I think that from my position, I'm looking for a stand. From my position, I think manhood has consisted of a lot of things, a lot of stages, and I'm sure it'll go through a lot more stages before it's all said and done, right? Like identity. Identity, particularly for us as men, because we're not women, is important. I know it's important for everybody, right? Because everybody needs to identify, well, needs to know who they are innately. So for me, I grew up until the age of 10, I guess you could say, 9, 10 years old, with my father, my biological father, right? And by the age of 10 years old, would it have been 10? Yes. Or 11, actually. Yeah, 11 years old. I had just turned 11. January 2nd, 1992, 7:30 a.m., I wake up to find my father dead. He had passed away in his sleep. But even before I lost him physically, I think I lost him emotionally way before then, about 7 or 8 years old. I don't know if you've ever told your dad this, or heard other young men or boys say this to their dad. When I grow up, I want to be just like you, whatever that may be. But my father expressly scolded me and told me never to say that to him again. That he wanted me to, and that he didn't want me to be like him. Now, what I heard as a child was, "I don't want you." So there's two problems. One, there's not a refined explanation for why he would say that in the first place. As an adult, I have a better understanding of that because, and I'll just share this with you, I have shared it probably before. And by the age of 40, I had realized that I had been sexually molested. And so, by him. The brain is interesting, bro. I'll tell you more about that later. Anyway, so I grew up trying to figure out what that meant, what it meant to become a man that I couldn't be because he told me not to. So I guess another thing is, in essence, he told me not to become a man because he's all I had for an example of that, and rightfully so. But I'll pause there. So I was very afraid of my father. He had this anger on him, bro. Oh my goodness. I mean, anger on him. That was very frightening. I think it was frightening for me because I was a little kid, let alone he was a big dude. But then also because he was a frightening man. He knew how to intimidate people. So anyway, I kind of grew up not really knowing him. But by the time, and this is scientifically proven, by the time a young boy turns 10, 11, he's going into a transfer phase, not a transition phase, but a transfer phase where he's not hanging around mom so much. Most typically boys as they're younger want to hang around mom, because mom is nurturing, and boys and girls love that, right? So anyway, by the time it was time for me to start hanging with dad more, he was gone. He was dead. And all I had was anger and confusion. And at that point, I remember that it was important for me to step into the shoes of a man I didn't know. And what I mean by that is, I think it's natural for most boys and young men, when tragedy happens, or something tragic, period, whether to themselves or to others, it's a natural thing for us to step in and say, okay, I have to stand in this. I don't know what this is going to look like, but okay, here we go. And I think to a degree we kind of do it subconsciously, but I think that also lends to the fact that we're created as men to step in as leaders, not specific, but unique leaders. I'll say it like that. Because some people will say, well, are you saying that women can't be leaders? That's not what I'm saying. However, I am saying that men and women lead uniquely in the roles that we were created to have, not just play. So anyway, here's my family that in many ways were already in a disarray. Mom's sick, grandma's alcoholic, sister's an alcoholic, and all craziness is going on. And here I am, an adolescent boy in a single parent home, being raised now by a single mom and kind of a grandma that wasn't really engaged, and a mom who was going through depression, some serious depression. So she was very absent emotionally. I remember I would hang with my guy friends, and a lot of the guy friends I hung with them because they were the closest example of a male role model that I had, that I was comfortable with, and that affirmed me as a young man, as a teenager, as a boy, as a man. But I wasn't aware of the content of their character, or even what that really meant for me or my own identity. And so, we went to the clubs, hung out, and drank and partied, and a lot of it was fun. I'm not gonna lie, bro. A lot of it was fun. Because there's something about being a young man and being on the edge of a cliff and saying, man, if I jump, how cool will that be if I land this, right? There's this exhilaration, at least there was for me, right? That, yeah, this is great. I'm with my dudes and we're just doing it up, and, I hope I get home safe. There were some fun times. They were fun, but they were also ignorant times, meaning I really didn't understand the danger I was putting myself in when I allowed for my anger to get a hold of me. I was an angry kid. I was an angry teenager, and even a young adult. I was always trying to figure out what it meant to be a man. What is success? And success, was how many girls you could date, or how many girls you can get back to the house, or how much money you made, or how many friends you had, because we didn't, really have, the social media like it is today at all. It was AOL and Yahoo Chat, and pixels everywhere. But it was really that. It was chaos, and there's chaos now too. It's just different. but at the essence, it's the same. Um, you know, I think that as time went on, there were desires, right? What does it look like to be successful, like I said, and how do I even attain that? What does that look like? This is scary. I don't know. Questions about sex. I would ask my mom questions. She was too embarrassed to tell me, so a lot of the stuff I learned, quite honestly, was through pornography. And that's just a crash course, a horrible crash course. And so I think as I stumbled through life, Rue's home, as I stumbled through life, I think that it wasn't until I think it wasn't until my mom passed away, maybe even after that. You know, I had brain surgery, all these different experiences. Um, was almost homeless. Could have been considered homeless. I've done the bumming it on friends' couches, stumbling around, doing stupid stuff, right? And I think that it was about at the age of 25. It was when I had surrendered my heart to Jesus. 52404. It was when I surrendered. Oh, 05, sorry, it's 52405. Anyway, it was when I surrendered that things began to change, and they got more challenging, and I started to take life a little more seriously, because now it's, in some ways, it's just me. You know, my mom's gone, my dad's gone. I still have a lot of questions. I've already been around and done stupid stuff, still was kind of really getting into stupid stuff. And still asking the question, what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be successful? All of these things. And I think I just never saw or had a solid male role model. But I think that once I began having men in my life that were challenging me to grow, that were challenging me to step up, even when I was afraid to. I think it was those men that challenged me to step up, that met me there and walked with me and even disciplined me when they needed to. I had men like that, and quite honestly, just to backtrack a little bit, I think this is important. In 2004, I developed an alter ego, not alter ego, another. I could do the Kool-Aid voice, right? Oh yeah, and I was at a camp one summer, and I told the kids, when I say get some, you say Kool-Aid. I was a big old dude, 400 plus pounds, right? I say get some, they say Kool-Aid. I say, oh yeah, and that summer was really fun. I was accepted that summer, unconditionally accepted, and when that happened, it became a part of who I was, even so much so that it became me. I personified the character Kool-Aid, and it was what people loved and enjoyed, and it was something that I loved and I enjoyed. It was acceptance, and I had been looking for that. Well, by 2017, maybe 17, I had a mentor that told me, he said, Will, I want people to see, or he said, Kool-Aid is a part of your personality. That's a part of kind of who you are personality-wise. but I want people to see the man that God created, William H. Bynum III. And I think that when he confronted me, and confrontation isn't a bad thing, by the way. It's not always a bad thing. It can be a good thing. Um, when he confronted me with that, I had been running from people calling me William H. Bynum III for the longest time, because my dad, the same one that messed with me, his name was William, or is William, and I didn't know what it was to be him. I didn't know, but when I was challenged by my mentor to start going by the name that I've been given and actually stepping into the identity as a son of the Most High King, it was then that things began to turn around, and I was willing then to start doing the harder work that a man that I am created to be, right? So I began even going to therapy to deal with some of the abandonment issues and the hurts, to deal with the anger that I used to have, all of these things, man. And slowly but surely, I began to develop then as William H. Bynum III, right? And as I began to know who I'm created to be, I think that not only did the Lord make it more clear who I'm supposed to be, but started to refine who I'm supposed to be. And stepping into that became more natural than it was unnatural, because I knew more of who I was. I think that not becoming a man, but being a man, a young man, and learning how to step into your role as Franz Joseph, is as important as being shaped and molded as a young man by the Lord to be who He created you to be. I think you have to find the right fit, right? Like, I think, for instance, I'll share this with you, and I'm gonna cut this and send it to you because this is about to be 20 minutes, bro, and I feel like I'm just babbling. So I'm out here in California, and I work as a youth pastor. And I love doing it, but I also know that I don't want to retire as a pastor. I want to retire as a therapist. I'm a pastor. I'm a shepherd at heart. That's something that's just me. That's a part of who I am, not just what I am, or what I do for work. But I know that I have a gift as a counselor. I have that ability. Psychology, therapy, it makes sense to me, and I long to help people. So I'm pursuing that. I'm pursuing it because I know that that's what I can do, and I know that I'm passionate about doing. And so now here I am at 42, and I arrived late on the scene, but better late than never, right? And I have a goal, a focus, a mission. That's it, Franz. You've got to know what your mission in life is, and it doesn't come overnight. But being purposeful about what that should be, taking into account where you've been, where you are, where you may want to go, and knowing that it's going to probably change 5-6 different times, but getting the essence down. What is it? What is it in my heart that makes my lion roar, right? What is it that I'm willing to stand on this hill and die for? What is that? And I think figuring that out, which is hard enough, allows for all of what you asked and talked about to fall into place. It's not just pull up your boots by your bootstraps, or whatever that saying is. It's not just that. It's, I'm scared. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I'm going to go anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to accept responsibility for what comes out of it, both the successes and the failures. I'm just going to do it because that's what men do. That's what we do. And it's hard enough doing that. But if you're willing to do that, bro, you will step into who you're supposed to be. You get the right people around you. Don't waste your time with people that are just wasting their time on themselves. Just don't, man. Like, you'll look back and be like, that was just stupid. Being around people that are going somewhere, or at least want to go somewhere, and have the fortitude to actually step that way, as well as the balls to do it too. Like, be around those people. Don't be around people that are afraid to live, and not live recklessly either. I've done enough reckless living. I'm telling you, it's just not worth it. You'll regret it. But find people that are going to be on mission. Find brothers and sisters that are in Christ, that are on a mission. And those that you jive with them. And those that you don't jive with, it's okay. Just you guys are walking a different path. You know, you could appreciate them, but maybe they can't hang with you and you can't hang with them. But anyway, I'm going to stop this right now. And let's see if let's just continue the conversation. I'm going to send you a link. Jordan, oh gosh, I can't remember his name. Jordan Peterson is a solid dude.